Welcome. Thank you for giving me some time. My name is Andy Wells, and I'm the Chief Product Officer for SmartTech 21. We just recently signed a partnership with MetricStream. We're bringing conversational AI to integrated risk management, governance, and compliance. SmartTech 21 is a global company founded in 2006. Our origins stem from service work, building products and automating processes for our clients. They're mainly Fortune 250 firms. And as you can see from the diagram, the map on the right, we've got a presence in a number of countries. About 3 years ago, we started to build our own products, and we've launched two. SmartBot Hub is an enterprise conversational AI platform, which has been in Gartner's top 20 conversational platform market guide for the last 3 years. It's a microservices architecture, allows omni-channel communication, and it has its own natural language processing engine. This gives us a lot of advantages over the competitors that use Google Chat and natural language engines that sit on the internet. Enterprise Cloud Connect is a real-time enterprise data connector which links data for use by applications across cloud, multi-cloud, and on-prem. It also allows you to manipulate that data, merge it, and create outbound files as well as outbound interfaces into applications. These two products have been used by us across many industries: telecom, financial services, retail, healthcare, and manufacturing. But just about a year ago, we decided to bring these platforms to the governance, risk, and compliance space. So what are the market trends in AI? I think one of the key areas that we've looked at, there are 5 components to artificial intelligence. Robotics, turning data into information. And I think AI is really good at taking large amounts of data, both structured and unstructured, and providing information to the end user. AI is also used for automating processes, which reduces the human effort and saves costs. Predicting outcomes, AI has really got into the predictive world because it runs quicker than the human brain, and you can take what-if scenarios and apply it to multitudes of data to give you some different predictions and more accuracy around predicted outcomes. And the 5th area is conversational AI, which I really want to focus on today. I think these use cases are often, and we've implemented them, across different verticals: customer experience, fraud detection for banking, predictive analytics for healthcare, customer insights for retail, and also risk management and analytics for a couple of our clients in insurance. Today, as we focus on conversational AI, I wanted to bring our attention to the fact that it's really made up of 3 areas: speech services, which really translates speech to text and allows it to be done in multi-language. Then we have the data layer. And really, when you're conversing with data, it has to be transformed through metadata. So we have a very comprehensive metadata engine that takes that data and allows it to be spoken to. And the 3rd area is the intelligence of the platform: natural language and personalized. This allows the conversational AI chatbot to know who you are, put security around what you can do, and give you a really good natural language effect. It's actually like talking to one of your work colleagues, and that's the area that we've really got into. So how do we bring conversational AI into the GRC space? We've really been using AI to simplify the implementation of GRC. And I think as GRC has been transforming and is continuing to transform over the next few years, you're going to see that it's going to move from the black art of the back office with a few security specialists into the entire organization. In order to do that, the first line of defense becomes every employee. And every employee needs to be able to recognize actions they have to take. And they need just-in-time and real-time education, along with the training that they receive on a yearly basis. That's where conversational AI can really play. It gives you a very quick interface to get information very quickly. So in the governance space, one of the areas we've looked at is how do you access documents rapidly from your phone or from your computer, not only get a big document that you have to read, but to actually ask a question of the document and get an answer back. So you haven't got to read 100 pages to find out what you can and cannot do. The other area we've looked at is fact bots. Each person in the organization really has a different lens to look at GRC. And how do we interpret that and provide each group of individuals with a different way of looking and reviewing the same information? Shareholders and executives want to get very quick answers about their risk posture, whereas suppliers and financiers want to look at how much does it cost. And managers and employees want to look at the process. How good is my process? Am I compliant? And customers and non-customers actually want to see how risk adverse an organization is. I think another area that we've really looked at is compliance. With a conversational AI platform, you can do real-time training. One of the areas we have looked at is offshore drilling. If you are installing a new bit, the bot talks the engineer through the stages of the process and requests affirmation. This affirmation can be stored to document compliance. Questions like, are the bolts set to the correct torque? Is the bit aligned correctly? Can all be confirmed and affirmed by the engineer. All this is done using voice, so the engineer does not need to use a keyboard with greasy hands, and it is all done securely and remotely without internet or VPN connectivity. I think another area that we've looked at is just-in-time policy lookup. How do you actually look up policies as you're doing your job? Conversational AI is also really enacting just in time. One of the areas that it's very useful is in travel. I'm not sure how many of you have traveled, but I'm sure if you travel often, you can get caught by the corporate travel policies. You go onto the website and it says, here's the hotel you can use in New York. Unfortunately, you're traveling the week over Christmas and the hotels that you can use are $1,000 a night. And obviously the policy states that New York, you can only spend $300. So you can actually get all that information off of the chatbot immediately, and you can get the exemption processed before you actually do your expenses. In the risk space, we've really started to hone in on how do you improve assessments and surveys, because normally they're one-way communication, and the recipient of the assessment or the survey often has questions. And with a conversational AI, they can ask those questions and get much more information before they start to answer the assessment or the survey. And in the security space, we've built a number of fact bots, especially for the development community. How do I develop secure code? What processes do I need to put in? What protocols do I have to use? And how do I use a certain language to make sure that I'm secure? All of that can be done through conversational AI. So we've used artificial intelligence to enhance the risk management experience. We've done that in a number of ways. We've allowed a different user interface through Teams and Slack and web chat. And you can also use voice and text. So no longer do you have to use the standard interface of the app. Secondly, we've taken a number of the modules of MetricStream and given you an easier way to interrogate and get answers from those modules and to push data into those modules. So third-party risk is one of them. Observations is another. So how do you quickly raise a potential issue? And how do you give that to 30,000 people and make sure that they all raise it in a standard way? How do we look at policy management and issue management and track it and make sure that the observation was closed and the issue has been corrected? And how do we modify and make sure we're looking at the right policy? All those things can be done through conversational AI. The other area is regulatory change. How do I ask the bot, what is the impact of GDPR? And it'll come back and say, here's the impact to your area. What's the impact of the changes in California law? So one of the ways we've done this, obviously we've done it through a secure channel. We use the Active Directory, so everything is done through role. Another area that we've put in is if the bot can't answer the question, it can still pass you to a human in the loop, either through an email or through a direct communication, like a telephone call. We have sat our conversational AI product on top of the MetricStream ecosystem. And as we work with MetricStream through 2021, we will continue to provide more and more functionality and use cases. Sometimes not all the data needed for a comprehensive answer to a question is in the MetricStream ecosystem. To manage this, we have built access to common data repositories such as SharePoint and Dropbox. Our platform can easily connect to the other data stores across the organization as well. So with the observation management module, see something, say something. This can now be on everybody's phone in the organization. It's a simple channel. It's easy for somebody to use. They can do it anonymously if they want to. They don't even have to put their name or their phone number in. It's voice enabled, which means you haven't even got to key it in. It'll allow input of pictures, documents, so you can actually put corroborating evidence into the chatbot. We also have the ability for somebody who's raised the issue in the observation to see where it is. Did it actually become an issue? Was it resolved? Did the person who resolved it can notify the person who raised it that the observation has been corrected? And I think all of that happens in a very quick way using conversational AI. I'd just like to show you a quick demo of something we've put together for one of our clients.
This video is about the features of the bot for the first line of defense team. The bot is capable of raising an observation, reviewing the status of the observations raised by the user, and most importantly, raising an observation anonymously. And all of that by just talking to the bot. Now, isn't that being super cool? Well, when the user decides to create an observation, he can simply tell his details to the bot. And that's it. The observation would be logged, and in no time, the bot would provide the observation ID to the user. Even while talking to the bot, the user can upload the videos and images as evidences for his observation. Also, the user has a chance to review and update the observation. In this entire conversation, the bot would be sensible enough to respond back to the user about the ETA that the team would take to respond back to him. To add to it, the bot has the ability to show the status of all the observations being created by the user for the last 30 days. Interestingly, the bot has the capability to inform the user about the new regulations, risks, etc. to ensure that the user is completely up to date and is compliant as well. Along with this, the bot is also intelligent enough to capture the feelings and sentiments of the user and track it to the sentiment analysis dashboard. Last but not the least, the bot has the functionality of connecting the user to a human agent if it feels that the user is dissatisfied or frustrated with the response or the kind of situation that he is in. Well, we now have come to the end of the video, and I hope that you have really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching it.
So you can see how easy it is to use the interface. Another area that we've looked at is third-party management. And I think here we've really started to work out how an employee can find the right vendor. How do you do a vendor search? How can I create a new vendor if I don't find a vendor that's doing exactly what I want? How can I actually track unresponsive vendors for surveys and assessments that I've sent them? And how can I do risk assessment and scoring? I think the other area is profile information. How do I actually get the information, how to contact a vendor, and who in the organization is using that vendor, so I can maybe call them and see if they've had a lot of success or are they disappointed. Let me just show you another quick example of what we put together for one of our clients.
This video talks about the utilization of the bot for requesting vendor products or services and also for onboarding of new vendors. Generally, there are situations when employees of an organization spend substantial amount of their time in trying to figure out the right vendor. Well, this bot is designed to address such challenges. To begin with, we have integrated our bot with Active Directory and have also enabled the role-based access control, which would ensure that the user can access only those contents for which he is entitled to. Using this bot, the user would be able to request vendor product and services from any approved vendor, notify the procurement team, and also understand the different nuances of third-party risk management by accessing the knowledge base. Well, let's begin by trying to find the approved vendors for the required products or services. Let's say we need to find a vendor for chatbots. So all the user needs to do is just type in chatbots and the bot would pull out a list of all the approved vendors for him. At any point of time, he can type retry to get a new list of approved vendors, or type in request new vendor to straight away request a new vendor for the previously searched products or services. Let's consider SmartTech 21 vendor for chatbots. Once clicked on View Details, the user can see the relevant details of SmartTech 21, like the internal relationship owner name, etc. He can also contact the vendor or the relationship owner directly from the bot, either via email or via the call functionality enabled within the chatbot. Now, if the user would want to consider the SmartTech 21 vendor, all he needs to do is just click on Notify the procurement team, and the job is done. The procurement team would be immediately notified, and the user would be provided with a tracking ID as well. Now, let's consider that the user would want to check for approved vendors for automation. In such a scenario, the user can use the quick search functionality, using which he can see the list of existing approved vendors for automation. The user can review the list, and once reviewed, if he feels that the list of vendors do not meet his criteria, he can simply type new vendor, and the intent would be automatically detected by the bot. Post responding to few questions, the user can request for onboarding the new vendor. The bot will process the request and would provide the user with a tracking ID for the same. While doing the entire process, if at any point of time the user would want to understand anything related to third-party risk management, he can simply utilize the knowledge-based repository that is within the bot. For example, if the user would want to understand anything about SOC or vendor risk management or OPAC or SLA, anything, be it anything related to third-party risk management, he can simply ask the bot and the bot would give him all the relevant answers. Well, we have reached the end of the video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice day.
So again, you can see how easy that would be. And this is all built on top of the MetricStream platform. So all of the data is stored in one place and then can be used on reporting from MetricStream as well as through the conversational AI. One of the areas where conversational AI is really starting to move for organizations is around document interrogation. So we've started to point this at the policy management libraries within MetricStream. And one of the areas here is you can do a lookup, and you can also do some attestation. The bot can notify you when changes are needed because of a regulatory change, and also it can make sure that where there are multiple versions of the policy, that it notifies you which one you're looking at. One of the big areas of our new tool is a cognitive bot. And what that allows you to do is to take a document and load it into the bot. In milliseconds, the bot will read the entire document and then allow the user to ask questions against it. It'll also allow multiple documents to be read. So if you've got a lot of documents on the same subject, you can put all of those into the bot, and the bot will actually pull information from each of those documents into a consolidated answer. Once that answer has been displayed, you can also print it out, you can also share it. It's the new technology, and it's called cognitive responsive. We've been building that for a number of our clients. So in conclusion, it looks like AI is going to percolate every corner of the business world over the next few years, and GRC will not be exempt. I think conversational AI will allow GRC to be much more pervasive across the organization by providing a simplified yet intelligent user interface so that you can ask questions and actually get the right answers. I think intelligent agents will also replace expensive employees for the simple tasks, for the simple questions around security, risk, and compliance. AI is also simplifying big data analytics from the security tools, and it's allowing different groups across the corporation to ask those tools questions and get different answers depending on which group in the organization you work in. And that can be from the executives, the board of directors, right down through to the employees. I think finally, predictive risk and real-time risk correction through AI is where we're going in the future. Still a little way off yet, but I think that's where organizations are moving to. You've probably seen that with MetricStream as part of the conference. I hope you've all enjoyed the conference, and if you have any further questions, please contact us. Thank you for your time.